everybody. So I decided that I am going to walk through my October budget with you. And this is how I do my budget. You can do something a lot more fancy than me, but I am a paper and pencil girl, and so this is actually a form I just made in Microsoft Word, and it's very specific to me, so that's why it's not something that's shareable. But hopefully you can get an idea from this. Hopefully it can help you. And like I said, we have to sort of reconfigure our budget now that I'm working part-time. Okay, so hopefully as I work through my budget, now that it is less than it was before, we can sort of talk through that together, because I know for me, when I was first learning how to budget, it was very helpful to watch other people just do their budget for the month. And a budget is just very much like your fingerprint. Like, it has to be specific to you, your situation. I'm sure what I pay for rent is probably, less than a lot of people and more than a lot of people, just depending on where you live, really. And so I'll just kind of go through my form. Again, it looks a little more complicated than maybe it is, and I was thinking about maybe redoing it for the new year. Usually for my January budget, I go back and look at my budget form for the previous year and make any updates, or delete any categories or add categories, so on and so forth. Okay, so up here in the corner, this is kind of my at the end of the month little area. So at the end of the month, I like to figure out how much money we actually made that month, how much were we able to put into savings. I do the kind of Dave Ramsey cash envelope system, so I write how much cash I actually took out of the bank, and then how much I deposited into checking or left in checking. So this is all like end of the month. Then over here, again, this is where I keep track of our paychecks. So I get paid twice a month from school. My husband gets paid twice a month from his job as a firefighter. And this is a paramedic transport job, and that's his second job. He works there very minimally, but we do get an income from there as well. And then I like to try and figure out at the end of the month what percentage of our total money we made went to these various categories. So budgeted is what I budgeted for, like living expenses and bills, savings, credit card, and I do use my credit card. That is one difference that I have from the Dave Ramsey system. I use my credit card for lots of things. Any online shopping. I do Instacart sometimes, so that goes on the credit card. If I do a Walmart grocery pickup, that goes on the credit card because you have to have a card on file. And my credit card is really good with rewards, and I will say that usually I get like a $25 gift card every month, and I always use that to, I always get that to an eating out place, and so we use that when we eat out on a date or things like that, and it just really helps. And so I pay my credit card off every month. The only time I don't pay it off every month is if there's a big expense, or if it's like, Christmas and I'm buying a lot of things online. But almost always I pay it off every month. And so for me, it's worth it to use it, and then we get to eat out or go on a date for free. So that's my take on it. It is different than the Dave Ramsey plan, but again, it has to work for you. Okay, so then I also do, if we paid any money towards like medical or counseling, miscellaneous spending, and then my goal last year was to put $2,000 in savings every month. I have not met that like hardly at all this year. We had a baby 10 months ago, so I could probably just black that out. And then I'd leave myself a little reflection box where I could be like, this month rocked, or man, I did bad. Like, it's not a lot of space to write, but it's something there. Okay, so this is where I actually do my budget. So right now we are making $5,000 a month. And so I am really going to try to budget $4,000 a month, so that hopefully that $1,000 can go into savings. It would be great if I could put $1,000 into savings every month. Again, we cash flowed having a child last year, and then 2 years before that we cash flowed another child. So I want to get our savings, in a really good spot. It is in a good spot, but I just feel more comfortable having more in savings, especially now that I'm working part-time. It would be fantastic realistic if I could work part-time and still save. So that's my current goal, is to budget for $4,000 so that hopefully that $1,000 that's left can go into savings, or at least maybe a portion of it can, just depending. So this right here is all of our fixed expenses. These are our monthly bills. These are the things that happen every month. So I plan accordingly. So I have our fixed expenses. This is how much I budget for. This is where I keep track of where I paid it. So what date and what check number, if I use a check number. This is how much it actually was, and then I put the difference. So like if at the end of the year I go back and review and, you know, my water was consistently like $50 higher every month, well then I know when I start the new year or whatever, I know I need to adjust my budget and plan for more money for the water bill. So this year for 2020, my goal was to pay $1,000 for the mortgage every month. Our house payment is about $560, and then I wanted to put $440 extra on the principal every month. So even though I have not been able to reach my savings goal this year, I have so far been able to do this every single month. So we really just have October, November, and December. So if I can pull this off for 3 more months, which I should have no problem doing, I will have made that goal. And that is almost 2 house payments. The $440 on the principal versus the $560. And I actually think our house payment went down. So I actually think it's more like $500 is the payment. I'm not sure, but I have been able to put the $1,000 towards the mortgage every month. So, obviously right here, I put 1,000, and obviously this is kind of an awkward angle to write, so my handwriting may not be as good as it normally is. So water, I just budget for $60 every month. Electric, I budget $100, and gas, I budget $100. Our electric bill obviously runs all the electricity and the air conditioner. Our gas bill is really just the heater and the oven. So really this changes depending on what time of year it is. So in the summer, electric's really high because we're using the air conditioner, but gas is like $10 because we're just using the oven. And then in the winter, the gas is really high because we're using the heater, but the electric is a little bit lower, usually like $70 or $80. And so I kind of just budget $200 here. And $200 usually covers both bills unless it's the deep of summer or the deep of winter. So on average, that's just what I put there. Our Uverse is our internet, so that's $75 a month. I am part of a Massage Envy membership. I joined that after I had my first son. I really am thinking about canceling that, but I have a couple of credits, and if you cancel, like your credits go away and I already paid for them. So I've been scheduling like 2 massages a month to try to use it up, and then I'm gonna cancel that for sure. All we have for TV is Hulu, and that's about $15 a month. We do have the Disney Plus account thing with it, so it's about $15. We don't have cable or anything like that. Our phone bill is $125. That's for both phones, unlimited data. We do get a little bit of a discount on that because we've been there forever. Weird category here, but when my husband is on shift, he has to have money to buy his dinner, and so I just call that fire food, and I budget for it every month. He does have a gym membership. Again, we're thinking about canceling that because he hasn't really been using it since we have 2 very small children. Our car insurance is $100 a month. So this right here, I call it swag bag because I used to be part of a clothing subscription. Now I am not, but I am still doing Ipsy and Nadine West, and I also have a shirt subscription where I pay $13 a month and get like the cutest shirts. So it's not really that anymore, but this is for like my subscriptions every month, whether it be, you know, magazines that come up once a year or like, you know, Ipsy, things like that. So I just budget for $40 a month. This right here is our daycare. It's spelled weird like that on purpose. That's a long story. So then what I do is here are all of our expenses. I add all of those up, and over here I put my total. So that is $2,087. And then of course, once I'm done, I'll put how much it actually was, and then I'll figure out the difference here. Okay, so this right here is my flexible spending account, as it is so aptly titled. these ones don't change, and so I leave them there even though it is flexible spending. Some months, like you'll see here in a second, I don't put anything in these, but they're categories that I just like to leave there. So for our dogs, I do $40 a month, and that is for their food. I get one huge bag of food that's about $25 a month, and then I get a couple of bags of Dentastix, and it's pretty much exactly at $40. So that's what it costs us every month for our dogs. We have two very large dogs. We have a 90-pound German Shepherd and a 90-pound Pit Bull. So big dogs can be cheap. Now, yes, maybe it's not the best quality food, but they're both very healthy, knock on wood, and all of that. So there we go. I budget $300 for groceries. Sometimes I spend a little more. I'm trying to really stick to that, though, of course. Gasoline, I budget $150 a month. My husband has a truck, and it costs quite a bit to fill up. I have two cars that are paid for. One is 15 years old, but it still runs. And then I have a Nissan Rogue. They're both paid for. Well, all three of our vehicles are paid for. So I budget $150 a month for gas. We both have about a 20 to 30 minute commute to work every day. But now that I'm working part-time, we really don't spend that much in gas, but I haven't adjusted it accordingly yet, really. We do like to go, we have this casino near us that offers these really cheap packages where you can stay overnight, and you get free play and things like that. So we enjoy doing that as a date night, because we can have some adult beverages and not worry about driving because it's like the hotel, and they usually have really good concerts and stuff. We have not done that for a long time since we've had two kids, but it is our date fund. Okay, so for dates, I'm not putting anything this month. We are going to go on a date this month, but I've already bought tickets for it, and then like I said, I have a gift card for us to eat, and then I'm probably just going to use personal money. So I didn't have a lot of extra money this month, and so I'm not going to fund that category. Couponing, I'm not doing a whole lot right now, but I am still couponing for diapers and chocolate. So I'm just putting $40 a month for that. Formula, I'm good for the month. I already have plenty of formula and diapers. Normally I put about $50 to $100 in that, just depending. My son is almost off formula. I may have to buy formula I don't know. I buy 3 or 4 at a time. I may have to buy it one more time, but in November he is a year, and so I will be switching to milk. So I don't need that as of right now. The kids, I usually will put $50 in there in case I want to take the kids to do something fun, or in case I find a cool toy, or in case I find something for them on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. So I normally put $50 a month in there, but as we are getting close to Christmas, one son has a birthday in November, one son has a birthday in December, and then there's Christmas. So the next 3 months, I'm not putting anything in that. If I do find something for them, I will just use my personal money, because they don't need anything, because it's almost Christmas and we have too much stuff anyway. I put $50 in our eating out fund, and that's just if we need a Happy Meal or whatever. And then I put $100 for just our household goods. So, if we need light bulbs or trash bags or whatever, I put that in there. Now, this is where I leave blanks because this is where things change every month. So this month we are going to get our pictures done. I have a good friend that is a fantastic photographer, and she is doing mini sessions. I have no good pictures of the 4 of us together, and so we're going to go get that done. So that's going to be $100. I had a cousin that is getting, I have a cousin that is getting married this month. And I'm going to give them $100 because I'm super excited about it. Then, of course, we have Halloween. And I'm sorry if this is shaking, you guys. I'm not on a tripod right now. I'm literally just holding this. So forgive me. Halloween, I'm going to put $50 just for, I've already bought their costumes. But if there's, something fun, we'll probably go to the pumpkin patch again. Or I don't know if I want to buy them a cool treat or craft or whatever, or if we want to go buy stuff to make candy apples. That's just for the holiday to celebrate it. And then I told you guys I have that massage subscription right now. Again, I really do want to get rid of that. I got it after my first son because I was having a lot of hip and back pain, and it really, really did help. But I do want to get that canceled once I use up my credits. So when I do go for a massage, I do tip, and I'm going 3 times this month because, again, I'm trying to use that up. So I tip $25 a time, so that's $75 for the 3. We actually got 2 doctor bills in the mail. One was for my husband and one was for me. And so I just kind of round up. So his was $129. Long story short, he got bit by a spider and had to go to the hospital and get steroids and antibiotics. Mine was just like a annual checkup, and so that was what was left or whatever from after the copay. So mine was just $68. Personal money is pretty much always the same. I do $320 for the month for both of us, and so basically we get $40 a week each. So that's $80 a week for 4 weeks, so that's $320. So what I do here is I break it apart week by week. Now my budget, I actually run it from the 20th of the month to the 20th of the next month. So this actually started September 20th and it's going to last me till October 20th. So I'm a little late in filming it, but it's just kind of the start of October, so I still thought it would be beneficial. So what I do here is I look at the month and I just break it apart. So like this is 8 days here. There's another 8 days. So it's a little more than a week, I guess. There's another 8 days. And then the last week, most of the time ends up just being like 7 days. So 10/15 to 10/20. And again, we'll get $40 a week each for our personal spending, anything we want to buy for ourselves. I usually spend mine on iced coffee or McDonald's Diet Cokes because they're delicious. I know it's bad for me, but those are my little treats to myself. Or, you know, if I go shopping or find something online, or I usually, let's be honest, spend mine on the boys most of the time. Okay, so here are my sinking funds, and normally I put stuff in them. Again, right now, since I am making a lot less, I've kind of put my sinking funds on hold. And that's because a lot of them are pretty much fully funded, and I'm kind of just going to put them on hold until after Christmas, and then I'll probably, you know, get rid of some or whatever. So normally I just put various amounts in here, but really I'm just not putting anything in those this month because we don't have a lot left over this month. So it is what it is. Okay, so this is the last portion on here, and this is where I'll put like how much is on the credit card at the start of the month. I'll put the beginning balance. Same thing for my savings. I don't know those off the top of my head, and I haven't filled it out right now. So normally I'll write, I'll just put a $sign there for now. I'll usually put, you know, if I owe, you know, $500 or whatever on the credit card, or how much we have in savings. So obviously I didn't fill those out, and I don't feel like checking right now. But if I add up all of this, so if I add all of this plus all of this, and normally what I'll do is I add this up, and I just usually write it kind of over here. So if I add that up, it's 1,522. So if you add this and this, we are under the 4,000. And so I could still put some in my sinking funds if I wanted to, but I told you guys I bought my kids a bounce house. That is like the bulk of both birthdays and Christmas. So that was super expensive. So I do have an outstanding balance on the credit card right now. So I am going to put everything that is left towards the credit card until I can get that paid off. I have enough, and I'm probably just going to take it out of savings, but you know, if I can put some from the budget money and take less out of savings, I want to do that instead of just withdrawing it all from savings. So I have $391 left, so that is going to go towards that bounce house and getting it paid off. It was kind of expensive, but I know it's going to make them so excited, and I think we're going to debut it on Halloween in a couple weeks, and I'm like, I can't wait, because I can't wait to bounce myself. So, Okay, and then what I do at the end of the month is, again, like if I pay, every time I pay something on the credit card, I'll write it, kind of like just a check register, and I'll put the total I paid toward that in the month. And then same thing, every time I make a deposit to savings, I write it here and then total up how much I did. And then I compare the beginning and ending balance at the end of the month. I'll go back and write how much was left, and that's it, just to kind of assess where we're at. Okay, so that is my basic budget sheet. Again, you can do this on notebook paper. I know a lot of people use Excel sheets that automatically calculate and things like that. I am not that cool, and again, I am just very much a paper and pencil person. Okay, so that's it for my budget this month. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Please leave any questions down below if you have them, and I will see you next time.